Hi guys, welcome to this session on Microsoft Excel. In this module I want to show you how you can use a feature called Flash Fill to copy things down or select data from a list and then pull that same type of data off many records as you pull it down. So the example I've got on the right here is a series of email addresses, and I just want the first name and surname without the full stop and without the @itseasy.co.uk at the end. So what you have to do to get this to work is you've got to give the computer an idea of what you're after. So I've just typed it there. Sometimes you have to, if it's a big list and it's fairly random, you have to give it a couple of options. But for this one, it'll pick it up on this, what I've done here. Then you just highlight the example you've given and the spaces where you want it to go. And then as it says there, you use Control and E and it fills it down. It pulls information off each of those emails, which is quite a cool feature if you've ever had to pull information off an email like that. Flash Fill is your best friend. Now this little example here, I've got all this information in separate columns and I want it in one column. So what I do here is I give it an example. So there's the example, and then I highlight the space and I do Control E and it brings it down. And even though this one's got a blank, it still brought the information down and just left that blank. Now if I undo that and do a typo, let's see if I can do a typo. So sometimes when you do a typo, see what happens here. Control E, that typo is cascaded down, so that's now no longer correct. It's not green, and then that's not black either. So it's basically picked up that. So you have to be careful when you do that. If I just do undo again and then just pull it down so it's correct. Control E, Flash Fill. Now if having done that, that's great. Now in the old days, if you didn't know about Flash Fill and you wanted to do this, you would have to use a feature called Concatenate, which would go like this. You'd have to click onto these cells, equals that. Use the concatenate symbol, which is this and sound, or you could do a function. You could go into the function wizard to do this. Then you need a space, which is just a text space. Then you need another concatenate symbol, I call them glue points, to click on that, and then another one. So basically each cell has to be glued if it's going to be added with a bit of text, like so. And that went off a bit quick. I should have done another glue point there, so I'll just go up and then click on to sales. Now I don't need another glue point after sales because that is the last thing. But then you get the same information, and if I pull that down, it's exactly the same. It looks exactly the same as that, but that's the formula that you would have to use, or you go up to the formula bar and insert a function called concatenate, and it will use a wizard for you to create similar to this, but I always find it easier just to type it with the and sign. Now if you want, if I delete that, if you want this to be split back into separate columns, there's a feature that's been around a long time to allow you to do that. If I go up to the data tab, you can split this down into 3 columns, even though there's only 2 items there, by going to text to columns and delimited, is it such as a comma, tabs separated each field. If I go next, ours is not a tab, it's a space, and then it puts the lines down for you, and then I can just go finish, just bang that across back into 3 columns again. So you can use Flash Fill to create it into 1 column. You can use text to columns to split it down. Whichever way you need to go, that's a tool to use. So hopefully that was of use to you. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you on the next one.